Hey everyone, welcome to the first week of our Advent devotionals. We hope that these short videos will be able to encourage you throughout this Advent season. The first week of Advent is the week of hope. So I'll be talking a little bit about what it means to hope in Jesus. So I'll be reading from Isaiah 64, verses 1 through 5. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down, that the mountains would tremble before you. As fire sets twigs ablaze and causes water to boil, come down and make your name known among your enemies, and cause the nations to quake before you. For when you did awesome things that we did not expect, you came down, and the mountains trembled before you. Since the ancient times, no one has heard, no ear has perceived, no eye has seen any God besides you, who acts on behalf of those who wait for him. You will come to the help of those who gladly do right and remember your ways. But when we continue to sin against them, you are angry. How then can we be saved? So the prophet Isaiah is much like the prophet Micah, who we've been talking about throughout the fall. They're both prophets who speak on behalf of God. And the prophet Isaiah is talking to God and saying, you are super powerful. Everyone who has experienced your power knows it. How can we be saved? How can we experience more of your presence? And pretty much is asking for God to come and make his presence known. The prophet Isaiah is known for foretelling the birth of Christ. So when the prophet Isaiah is asking for the presence of God, he's foretelling and looking forward to the hope of the birth of Christ. And the interesting thing about the prophets is after the last prophet of the Old Testament, God goes silent for 400 years. So there was this hope that the prophets had built up for the coming of God, and then nothing for 400 years. Can you imagine waiting day after day, hoping for the Messiah that would come, and then nothing? And it can be hard to hope in situations that feel dark. And in 2020, the year that we've had, it can feel a bit like a dark place where you're kind of looking for, where's the light? Like, God, where are you, where are you in all of this? And we all have situations that we feel are broken and that we really want God to speak into. But the great thing about the hope of the prophets is that they continue to remind us to look forward to where Jesus is coming, to the coming of the Messiah. So in this Advent season, we are remembering their waiting for the hope of the Messiah. And now we are waiting for Christ to come again and to make all things new. But even in that waiting, even in that hoping, we can hope knowing that Christ is still with us and present with us today. So my question to you is, what are the things that you are hoping for? What are the places that feel broken, that feel dark, that you need to continue to hope for God to make a difference, for God to heal, for God to move and restore those broken things? So this week, you guys will be reading Isaiah 64, verses 1 through 9. And it goes a little bit more into Isaiah's kind of prophecy of what this Messiah will do and what God entering into their situation will look like. So I hope that this is encouraging. Love you guys, and see you next week.